Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for just joining us tonight for our team Zoom. My goodness, it's almost the end of July, July 27th. Hard to believe how fast the summer's going. But anyway, I love summertime. It's always just the best time of year in the mountains of Pennsylvania where I live. But I just want to welcome everyone. Well, I want to welcome any new people tonight as well. Welcome to our LifeVantage family and Team Lifetree. And I'm actually going to turn things over to Debbie Packard because she actually was the one that reached out to our guests tonight to invite them on our team Zoom. So Debbie, are you there?
I am here. Thank you, Julie. I have with me as my guest tonight, Ella. She made a last minute appearance, so she's going to help me here with this. I was in Cancun in January, and we were just at the end of our 4 days there. We had just checked out of the hotel and we're kind of just waiting there in the lobby, spending some time before our ride to the airport. And I happened upon Tiffany Pate. Didn't know who she was, just saw her sitting there in the little lounge area of the hotel, and I introduced myself, and she was just so cordial and welcoming and friendly, and we got to know each other just a little bit. She is the mother of 3 active kids who are ranging in age from 18 down to 9. She's a graduate of Texas A&M. She's been married 21 years to her husband, Kevin. She's a Pro 6, and she really loves helping others find their true, authentic self through the power of biohacking their bodies. I know just in the short time that I spent talking with Tiffany that day, I was inspired and encouraged and felt like I had made a new friend. So I'm really excited, Tiffany, to have you with us tonight, and I will turn it over to you. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Debbie. And I just feel so honored that you guys will allow me in your space tonight. I know taking time away from your family, it's a commitment, so I appreciate you allowing me here. And Debbie, it's such an honor. I had such a great time meeting you and your husband. That's one of the amazing things about events is running into people that you maybe wouldn't meet normally. So such an honor, and I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to meet you guys. So guys, I've been asked to share with you tonight a little bit about my story. And then I'm going to flip it over to some social media. But before I get to the social media, I'm going to ask you guys some questions because I want to be sure that your time tonight is well spent. And I want to be sure that I'm addressing things that will work for you and your business. Fair enough? Okay, so I actually started with LifeVantage as a customer back in 2011. August will be my anniversary. I started as a customer because one of my girlfriends knew that I was having a lot of issues with one of my hips. And she was like, listen, I don't know what this is. I don't know anything about it. It's all natural. I think you should give it a try. So I started as a customer and very quickly saw some amazing results in my own body, and that entrepreneurial mindset started clicking, and I'm like, wait a second, if I feel this incredible, who else can I help with this, and can I get paid to do the same to help others? At the time, I was part of a direct sales company. I was schlepping around educational toys to people's homes and doing in-home parties. What I loved about that was the fact that I got to meet a lot of people. What I didn't like about that was the fact that I felt like I was away from my family more than I was home, because those parties typically happened at night. And the whole purpose of me doing a little side gig or something extra was so that I could be with my kids. I've got 3 kiddos, as Debbie mentioned. One just graduated from high school and is actually, we're moving him into his dorm in August. God willing. And then we have another son who's 16 years old who just started driving. And then our daughter, as she said, is 9 and will be 10 in September. So I wanted to be sure that I was home with my kids. Dinner time is very important to us. And I was getting a little bitter with the other company that I was never home during dinner time because I was always out doing parties. So what I have found with LifeVantage is the opportunity to actually work a business in and around our crazy schedule and literally from my phone. When my kids were younger, I would do most of my work from my phone in carpool line while I was waiting for kids to be shuffled out to my car. With LifeVantage, I've truly found something that not only can my husband and I do together, which is super fun, but it's also something that works and lends itself to our crazy lifestyle and our schedules to where I can actually make legitimate money and still be home with my kids in the evening. So that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Do any of you guys have any questions or anything that y'all would like to throw out there before I roll into social media? All right.
I'm curious how long you were in on just the products before you decided to become a distributor. It doesn't sound like it took too long.
It did not take long because I had very quick results, which is not normal. My body is just really sensitive to things, and because of those very quick results, I would say less than a week is when I flipped. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm so thankful for my girlfriend just for sharing the bottle of Protandim with me, because had she not done that, taken that step of faith, then LifeVantage has completely changed our lives, and I'm just so incredibly thankful.
Yeah.
Okay, so before I roll into social media, I want to ask you guys real quick, would y'all prefer that I go over kind of like my daily method of operations on what I do on social media? Or would you rather see what it's like when we go from an engagement post through to a potential customer and sending them the cart?
I kind of like all of the above.
What about you?
How much time would it take to cover both or one?
I don't think it will take too long. I can fly through it pretty quickly, and then if you guys have questions, if maybe the flow doesn't go well, you can feel free to. I'm an open book, and I'm happy to share it all with you guys.
Well, thank you so much.
Okay. So I want to start real quick with a daily method of operation. I will tell you my DMO is different from our leaders' DMOs. You really have to find something that works for you and your schedule. So I always start with our new team members to ask, how much time do you have to commit to LifeVantage a day? And then we go from there and kind of work on a DMO. But I'm going to share with you what my daily method of operation is, or DMO, and then if you guys have any questions with that, we can go there. So I always start my day off with 15 to 30 minutes of personal growth or in the Word, Bible study, something along those lines, just to align myself and kind of set my day up in the way that it needs to be set. So I always start off my day that way. And then I have a couple of things that I make sure that I do every single day. And I will tell you, as a lot of you guys may understand, as crazy schedules, especially now, throw in a little thing called, COVID or Corona, everything's a little bit off. But I know from day to day, kind of from my calendar, when I'm going to be able to fit those things in. if I need to fit it in before the kids get up, if I know my kids are going to go play at the pool or have a play date or whatever, if I fit it in there, I know what my schedule is going to look like and where my windows are. So I kind of do block timing, but I'm not real rigid with that because as a mom, you know, our days can implode very, very quickly. So after the 15 to 30 minutes of personal development, there are a couple of things that I make sure that I do every single day. I always try every single day to create I always create a Facebook post or an Instagram post every single day. And by that, I'm not selling products. I'm wanting to engage. You know, I don't know about you guys, but I don't know the last time I went on Facebook looking to actually buy something. I go to Facebook because I want to connect with people. I want to learn about what's going on in their lives, right? And really have a genuine connection. And I have found that through my training in social media, if I have somebody that's on my friends list that won't engage with me at some level, then I typically will unfriend them. And that's not mean. You just want to think of your personal media or your Facebook page as your commercial. And I'm sorry if you hear my dogs going off in the background. That's typical for this house. Somebody must have just gotten home. So create some sort of a post. One great way if you are new to social media and you're not sure what to post an engagement post. Something like, what do you prefer? Your steak rare or well done? People love to share their opinions. And what's cool about the Facebook algorithm is when you do that and you post something like that and somebody engages and you respond to that, all of a sudden Facebook says, oh, these people are actual friends. There's a relationship there and you're going to start seeing their stuff in your feed and vice versa. So engagement posts at least once a week, maybe a couple of times a week. Right now during all the craziness, I mean, you could come up with some really fun engagement posts. Something like, tell me in a GIF what your day typically looks like, or tell me in a GIF what you think my typical day looks like. Something along those lines gets a lot of interaction, and it's just a fun way to interact with people and to brighten people's Facebook feeds, right? There's so much negativity out there. It's just, if you can zig when other people are zagging, if you can do something different when other people are negative and depressed and sad, you're gonna stand out. So creating a post every single day, whether that's on your personal or Instagram, or if you have a business page, but every single day, some sort of Facebook post. Something else that our team has really started utilizing is using Facebook stories as well and Instagram stories. That is where, if you scroll on my Facebook page, you're not gonna see anything about LifeVantage. You're not gonna see anything about ProTandem. Don't get me wrong, I love LifeVantage, I love our products, I love all those things, but I want people drawn to me. And I don't know about you guys, but when I get a friend's request from somebody and I go onto their Facebook page and it's all about jewelry or, I don't know, Pampered Chef, whatever, I'm a little bit more hesitant to friend them unless I can find something that I think that we would have in common, because I know that I'm going to end up getting one of those random Pamela Anderson DMs, right? Asking me to look at their product. So you want to be really, really careful and guard your Facebook profile like you would your home, right? You want to be sure that it represents who you are. And even though these products have changed our lives, the products aren't who I am. So if you scroll on my Facebook page, you'll see all sorts of stuff. Most of my stuff's about faith or being a mom, healthy lifestyle, things like that. So the Facebook stories, the reason why I kind of went off on that, the Facebook stories is where you can drop information about your products, because that's only going to be in there for 24 hours. That's not something I do all the time. I typically choose one day a week to be my product post in my Facebook stories. So one day a week, I may do hair care. Hair care may be my thing. You want to focus on benefits versus the actual product, right? You want to tell them why our hair care is superior from all the other hair cares. And guys, you don't have to recreate the wheel. You can easily follow some of the leaders here in LifeVantage and take what they have already on their pages. A lot of the stuff that I have on my page, at least when I got started, a lot of it was stuff that I borrowed from other people. That's what we do, right? You just want to tweak it and make it a little bit of your own. So with the Facebook stories, feel free to drop products in there and maybe talk about, you know, if you drop a picture of the Protandim bottle, maybe the Protandim isn't, maybe it's blurred out, and you say something about increase your glutathione, or, you know, you want to be sure that you are being very compliant. Don't go crazy in Facebook stories just because they disappear. You still want to be compliant in those. So use your Facebook stories, because I'm telling you, Facebook stories is a great way to start getting engagement, because people immediately reply to that, right? And then you can also see who has looked at those stories. You'll start getting replies from those stories. In my Facebook stories, I post a lot about, one of my kids loves catching snakes. So that creates a lot of engagement. But I drop that in my Facebook stories too. So have fun with that. Don't overthink it. Let it be you. Every single day, my goal is to add a minimum of 3 new friends in Facebook. I have found that the more friends I have, it's harder to find those quality friends that I want to add. So I don't always add 3 friends a day, but that's always my goal. If I add 1 new friend a day, then at least I've done part of that step, right? So I know other people who add 5 to 10 new people a day. My schedule that's just not feasible. So my goal is to add 3. I sometimes add less. So add friends every single day. Something else that I teach our team to do is to find a few groups. I don't like to overwhelm myself, and I don't like to overwhelm our team. So find maybe 3 groups. If you're new to social media and you're not real familiar with social media, maybe start with just 1 group. Find 1 group of something that you enjoy. Maybe you love dogs, or maybe you love labradoodles. You know, there's all sorts of great groups in there that you can find specific to something you enjoy. Okay. Now, when you join that group, don't start Vanessa Pamela Anderson. The whole purpose of joining that group is to actually engage and interact with these people, right? Once you start engaging and interacting, then you can start maybe friending them outside and starting conversations. But always keep in mind, social media is meant to be social. It's not meant to sell your products. It's meant to create a relationship. So find a group, and I'm going to challenge each one of you guys, if y'all don't already have a group that you're a part of, that you engage in on a daily basis, find one this week. If you already have one, add another one. I have found that for me, I can't consistently work in more than 3 groups. So I only have 3 groups that I make sure that I touch every single day. And by touching, I mean going in there and liking, loving on posts, interacting with people, right? Not necessarily posting about stuff about products at all, but engaging with people in those groups. Another thing that I've learned from some of the social media training that I am in is sending birthday messages, but I'll tell you, I kind of tweaked those a little bit. I was on a coaching call with some of the leaders, and I don't know if you guys follow Fraser Brooks, but he is one that I was on a coaching call with one of his leaders, and she said instead of just sending birthday messages, wait till the day after. this was, guys, I'm gonna just tell you, this was way out of my comfort zone. And when she told me to do this, I was like, I'm not doing that, because that's just, no, I'm not doing it. But I will tell you, it has created some of the most amazing conversations that have led to conversations about LifeVantage. So don't freak out on me, but this is what she told me to do. She had me actually videotape myself singing happy birthday. And I will tell you what I did was, there's fun little filters in Facebook that you can use. I totally used a filter because I don't, first of all, I don't sing. I hate listening to myself in a video, and I definitely don't want to see myself on video singing happy birthday to someone, right? But I videotaped myself just singing happy birthday. I didn't use their name, obviously, because you're doing a generic video. And then I say at the end of the video, I just saw that I missed your birthday. I'm so sorry. I hope this makes up for it, or something along those lines. And I actually have it recorded and on my phone. And I will go in the day after on birthdays, and I will send them that message. And every single time I've gotten a response. I've yet to not get a response. It may be somebody laughing at me, and that's okay, because it's kind of silly. But it's a great way to start a conversation. And I want you to think about it this way. When it is your birthday on Facebook, we get bombarded, right? We get so many happy birthday messages that this is a way to set yourself apart. You're going in the day after, or 2 days after, or whatever, and you're just sending them a recorded video, but they don't realize it's a recorded video. They feel special because you've done something different. Cool? Makes sense? Okay, so
I have a question. Do you do
yes.
that on their Messenger or on their Facebook page?
No, I actually do it in Messenger, because I have found that when you send it in Messenger, it's easier to create a conversation versus on like their main page. They're going to be a lot more guarded on their main page. They may just like it, but I actually send it in Messenger. And by sending it in Messenger, that way all of your other friends don't see that you're sending them the same message. Does that make sense? I'm not sure who asked that question. I hope that made sense.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So a couple of other things I make sure that I do every single day. And guys, again, I will tell you, I set a time limit for myself because I know it's very easy to get caught in that scroll hole, especially on Facebook. So if you have a crazy schedule and you're like, holy crap, I can't fit one more thing in, just know that you can do all of this in less than 30 minutes. You can do it in less than an hour. And if you don't have a whole hour, then split up and do 15-minute increments whenever you have time. I promise you it's not overwhelming. It's better to do something consistently, even though it's a little bit more than what you've done, than to go and take all of these and go, okay, I'm gonna do everything that she said and implement it tomorrow. It's better to choose a few things and start doing those consistently, and then add on those once you know that you can do those consistently. Make sense? Okay, 3 more things that I do on a daily basis. I make sure that I go in and I comment or interact on posts, especially people that maybe, don't take this the wrong way, but targeting for my business or my products, right? So I'm sure each and every one of you guys have friends in your friends list that you think, oh my gosh, you know, I would love to have that person on my team, or that person would be great with our products or something like that. And what I actually do is I go in and there's a way to change them in your friends list, and I add them to close friends. When you add them to close friends, you're actually going to see them more often, and they're going to see you more often, so you can actually engage with them. So if there's somebody that you specifically want on your team or you think would be great on the products, then go in there. And if y'all don't know how to do that, feel free to send me a message and I can walk you through that. It's a super easy little tweak to do to make sure that you're seeing their posts, because you want to engage with them, right? You're creating that relationship, because people buy from people they like, know, and trust. Well, they're not going to not like, know, and trust you unless you're engaging with them on their posts. So I comment on posts interact on posts every single day. I also have a goal to message 5 friends. And guys, I will tell you, especially during these crazy times, that message literally right now is, hey girl, how are you doing? Or hey, how's the family? How are you holding up during these crazy times? Something along those lines is going to create a conversation that may or may not turn into business right then, but it's going to create a conversation. So I message up to 5 friends. My goal is always 5 friends. That doesn't always happen. But I make sure that I at least message 1 to 2 people every single day, but my goal is 5. And then I check Facebook Messenger. I will tell you the tweak with Facebook Messenger is I typically only check that once a day. For me, checking it in the evening is best. Sometimes I will miss things, but otherwise I find that I'm a slave to my phone and I'm on my phone all the time. So I only check Facebook Messenger once a day. Some of my leaders actually check it 2 to 3 times a day, just depending on what works best for their schedule, but that's what I do. Do we have any questions on that? Anything that I can clear up?
Yes, I have
Yes.
a question about, you say that okay, so you're commenting and interacting with up to 5 friends a day. So do you keep track of like certain people? I mean, because you're adding people every day to people, and you have certain people that, you've made close friends because you'd like them on your team. So how do you decide who's, page to comment on and who to interact with? Because there's so many people.
That's a great question. And a lot of times it's just whoever shows up in my feed that morning, because I've already been interacting and engaging with them. So they're going to show up on my feed. I do have a few people that I have marked down that I make an effort to make sure that I go into their page at least once a week to just kind of see if I've missed anything that I can like and comment on. But a lot of times it's just whatever shows up in my feed. Make sense?
Yes, thanks.
Okay. Okay, so any other questions on that before I go into taking someone from adding as a friend and then sending a card? Yes, Renee?
Do you use, I know you mentioned close friends, but do you also create lists? And I'm just learning about this. Do you also create lists of your prospects?
I have in the past, and I know some of my leaders do that, but my learning style, that like truly overwhelms me and freaks me out a little.
Yeah.
I know some of our leaders that works very well for. I think it just kind of depends on your personality and what works best for you and your business.
Thank you.
Okay, so guys, oh yeah, Cindy.
What are you using to video with? Are you videoing yourself with Messenger?
Yeah, so I actually went into Messenger and I went as if I was going to send my husband a message, because just in case I accidentally hit send or something.
Okay.
Yeah, may happen, I don't know. And then you can actually save it to your phone. So what I love about having it saved to my phone is that when I'm out and about, maybe dropping off kids at Taekwondo or whatever that is, I have it with me already. I mean, we all have our phone, and I'm able to go right there as I'm on the go and send those messages out.
Yeah, that makes
really
sense.
Well. Okay, good. But again, I use the fun little filters on there because I don't want people to actually see this face.
Yeah.
All right. So when you add somebody as a friend, or if you receive a friend's request, what I would encourage you to do is always send a message. Send them a private message, not on their Facebook wall, but a private message, and just say something like, oh my gosh, Cindy, thanks so much for the friend request. I truly love actually getting to know people in my Facebook friends list. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay.
Or something along those lines. Send them a message, whether they send you a friend request or you send them a friend request. Thank you for accepting my friend request, or thank you so much for the friend request. I truly enjoy genuinely getting to know people in my Facebook feed or my Facebook friends list. Tell me a little bit about yourself. If you have time, go and kind of stalk their Facebook profile and maybe see, oh my gosh, she's a mom of 3 kids too, or she has twins, or she posts a lot about her dog, you know, and you can actually tailor that message a little bit more. Oh my gosh, I saw on your Facebook feed that you love golden doodles. How, you know, do you have your own golden doodles? Something along those lines. But a lot of times for me, it's got to be super quick. So I don't have time to really go stalk their Facebook profile initially. I just send them a message. Thanks so much for the friend request, or thanks for accepting my friend request. And then I genuinely enjoy getting to know people in my friends list. Then that typically receives a return message, right? Not always. If it doesn't receive a return message in a couple of days, I may send them a funny little GIF and say, you know, oh my gosh, how's your day? Or I may start interacting on their Facebook profile. It just kind of depends on if it's somebody that I really want to target. If I don't get engagement, I typically do unfriend them. You want people in your friends list that are going to engage with you, that are going to participate in conversations, because just having friends that aren't interacting, you would rather have friends who are interacting than not friends who are interacting. Does that make sense? That percentage matters in Facebook land. So, and I hope that doesn't come across snotty or anything like that. I mean, it's genuine. I truly do like to get to know people through Facebook. So once we start a conversation, then I'll start asking questions. People love, again, to talk about themselves. Ask questions. Do you have kids? Do you have fur babies? Do you know, what are some of your interests? Ask those. What do you do for business? Have you been affected by the crazy COVID crisis? And that typically will start a conversation. I personally do not immediately start talking about our products. I start a conversation, and like Carrie Dickey always says, you find a need and you fill it, right? Their need is not to see our video, our ABC Primetime. It's an amazing video, but that's not their need, right? If you don't get to know them and find out their aches, their pains, their hurts, whatever that is, you don't know what need you are there to fill. Does that make sense? So I typically do not bring up my business or our products until that conversation leads to that and they ask me what I do. And then from there, it just really depends on the conversation. Some people are going to be open to seeing what we have. Some people aren't, and some people are they're just not going to respond at all, and that's okay. So we go back and forth, we have that conversation, and sometimes that conversation about our products may not happen for a week or 2 or maybe even a month. Sometimes it takes a while to create the relationship, but what I want you to think about is I want you to think about Facebook kind of like dating, all right? You wouldn't go into a bar immediately and go up to somebody and say, hey, I want to marry you. Right? There's a process. You got to get to know them. They've got to get to know you to see whether or not you want to even proceed with that relationship, right? Facebook's the same thing. And so think about it like a relationship, like a dating relationship. And that's really all it is. It's that little dance back and forth. I never, ever, 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 ever encourage anyone to ever send any video without first receiving permission. So if that conversation gets to the point where they ask what you do, however you answer that, I typically say something along the lines of, oh my gosh, I love helping people biohack their body through the science of nutrigenomics. Have you ever heard about nutrigenomics? And it creates a conversation. Some people may shut you down right there. Some people may be intrigued and ask you more. But what you want to do is get to that point, like Eric Worre always says, if I would you, right? As you have that conversation, hey, listen, Julie, I don't know if it's anything that would be of interest to you at all, but if I were to send you a quick video, would you take the time to look at it? It's a yes, no, or no answer, right? And then once I have the permission to send the video, depending on my week, sometimes I will immediately follow it up with, hey, listen, I know you're gonna love what you see. I'm gonna go ahead and shoot over a cart just in case you want to see more information about what you've already seen. I prefer to wait to do that step because to me, it almost seems a little salesy, it seems a little pushy. But guys, I'm gonna tell you quite honestly, with as crazy as our schedules are, sometimes that's just the next step. But I like, again, to kind of have more of a dance in there before I send the cart, because it's a great way to follow up and say, hey, listen, did you have the time to take a look at that video I sent to you? I would love to get your questions answered or something along those lines. And that's really the process that we take from friending someone to getting them the information with LifeVantage. Do you guys have any questions on that? I know that was super quick.
It was excellent. You gave us
Okay,
a lot
good.
of really good information. Does anybody have a quick question? Question or comment?
I just want to say
use
that
social media? I'm sorry, Debbie?
it's super helpful.
Okay,
it's
good.
been really good for me to hear just what your daily operation
too.
is, and also just how you connect with people and engage. And I don't know, it's been really helpful for me to.
Good. Do most of you guys use social media to work your business, or is that, okay, good. Guys, I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of people on Facebook, and there's a lot of people who are hurting and need what we have. And as long as you lead with your heart, and sorry, my husband's cooking dinner in there. Office is right off the kitchen. So, but if you lead with your heart and truly have the goal of connecting with people versus selling people products, then I promise you that will come through. But if you start with the agenda of you want to sell them products, or, you know, target them for your team or whatever, they're going to see that too. So just be aware of that. Lead with your heart, be genuine, and just connect with people. Social media is an amazing, amazing tool that is allowing us to create a network worldwide from our phones. I mean, you can't do that in normal businesses. It's an incredible, incredible tool. So use it wisely.
Well, thank you so much. That was really great information. Like Debbie said, it was just so helpful, and we really appreciate it. I have one more question. So do you enroll a lot of customers and distributors through Facebook then?
Mm-hmm. Well, and what we have found is the majority of them sign up as customers first, because a lot of people want to have that experience before they start a business, right? Unless you're dealing with somebody, you're talking to someone who legitimately needs another stream of income or needs to diversify their income. Then a lot of times, I mean, you're not even talking necessarily about product, you're talking about the business. It just really depends on the person, but the majority of my business comes from Facebook.
That's awesome. That's really awesome.
Do you use LinkedIn?
You know, I have used LinkedIn before. LinkedIn is not my favorite. I think what I would just encourage you to do is find an avenue that fits you and your personality. Facebook isn't for everyone. Instagram isn't for everyone. LinkedIn isn't for everyone. Find one that works for you. Create a daily method of operation that works for you, and then be consistent every single day to make sure you do that on whatever platform that is. LinkedIn is just not one of my favorite platforms for me.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
I'm also a fan of Fraser here.
Of what?
Fraser Brooks.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm doing his trainings. And I know that he is really big on blitzing, doing team blitzes. And I was scared to death to ever even and I know that Brian and Holly Highfield use that, but I thought that just sounds scary until I was kind of forced through the training to do it, and I absolutely loved it. My question is, are you able to use that through your team, and is it something you guys do on a regular basis, or just not kind of your culture right now?
You know, it's interesting because I have two very, very strong leaders who kind of do their own things, if you will, and they're two totally different types of team, if that makes sense at all, as far as demographics and how they work their business and everything. So we have done team blitzes, but what I have found for me, especially having leaders under me, that they prefer to do that themselves. If that's something that they come to me and they're like, oh my gosh, this is something that I really want to do, then it's something we do. But when you have really strong leaders, you have to be sure that you are appreciate their culture for their team, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I haven't rolled this into the team aspect at all. So,
Okay.
so I do have some team members who are on, I'm sort of into this group. Can you kind of share just really, really quick, the three aspects of what you guys do when you do a blitz?
Okay, and by you're just talking about like a social media blitz where you have an idea of what you're gonna put out, or?
Well, the ones that I've participated in, it's just 10 minutes as a group. A timer goes up, and
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Okay. So the blitzes that we have done, we typically do either 30 minutes or an hour. Just kind of depends. And we do make it fun with noise makers and stuff like that. But it depends on what we're doing. And it depends on where those people are in their business, if that makes sense. So if we're working with brand new people and we're going to do a blitz, we may have them reach out. And I'm not a fan of doing copy and paste messages because I feel like it takes a lot out of the whole engagement on Facebook or on social media. But we'll give them an idea of some sort of message to send, right? So go into your friends list, look for that green light. We always call it scrolling for dollars because you're looking for that green light, people who are actually active on Facebook at that time. And it depends on what we're focusing on. If we've got a promotion with the company, then it may be something along those lines, but it always starts with engagement first. Hey, Susie Q, I see that you're on Facebook tonight. What's going on? What's going on in your life right now? But that engagement, and then always moving them to watching the video, right? If I would you. But I think that's kind of a hard a hard question to really fully answer on here. So Renee, I would love to have more of a one-on-one conversation with you to make sure that I'm answering that question correctly. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you so much. We really appreciate you, Tiffany, being on our call.
Thank you.
It was awesome. You gave us a lot of value, and so we really appreciate it. So with that, I'm just going to go over a couple quick announcements. Our regular announcements, which Tuesday night is our Taking Control presentation through LifeVantage, and that's at 9 p.m. Eastern. This week I saw that Rachel Jackson, I think her new name is Pekarik or something like that. She's going to be doing the presentation tomorrow night. And then the Success Masteries have been just amazing. I get so much value from those every Saturday at noon Eastern, and they really aren't super long. Like it's about an hour to an hour and 20 minutes or an hour and a half. So I would encourage everyone not to miss those. And then if you haven't registered for convention, you've got to register because it's going to be phenomenal. I'm so excited about convention. It's going to be virtual. And whoever registers also gets a free gift box that's valued at over $300. So you definitely want to put that on your schedule, October 23rd and 24th. And they're actually recording it and giving you extra time if you have, you know, something really important going on that weekend. So with that, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm sure you got a lot of value from this. It's recorded, so you can listen to it again. And with that, just have a great rest of the week. God bless you all. And thanks again so much for being with us tonight, Tiffany. All righty. You take care now. Bye-bye.